What's up, Everyday Blades? Man, we got a knife I've been waiting a long time to get in. I think the pre-order on this one was over 9 months, which, man, I think is too long. If I'd known it'd been that long, I wouldn't have ordered it. I just waited for the secondary, and it seems like on these knives, the secondary, when they come in, it's the same price as it was when you pre-ordered it, and there's 10 of them for sale in the group, so what's the point? I won't be a pre-order person from here on out. So first, we're talking, of course, about the Winter Blade Mirage. But before I talk about the Mirage, I want to mention its brother, the Factor, and the reason why I ordered this. I love this knife, right? There's only a couple of small things I would change on this knife, and one of them they changed on here. Well, let me back up, because this is one thing that I thought I would change, is that button right there. I would just take that off, right? Because you don't really need it. You can just thumb flick it out like any other knife, right? But on this is the batch 2. The batch 1, it was a little harder to flick out. The batch 2, it's quite a bit easier. That, and it's not a drop point blade. Other than that, I love it. I love all that anyway. That's all small picky shit. This is the Winter Blade Co. Mirage. Now, the number one thing that almost kept me from ordering it is the description of this knife. It's described as, and it is, an assisted knife. I've never liked assisted knives. For me, not excluding this knife, every other knife that I've known to be assisted, it was assisted with a spring because it was built poorly. It wouldn't fling it, you couldn't fling it out because it was built crappy, right? That's definitely not the case with this. This one, it gives you benefits that the other one doesn't, but it also takes away some things that you get with the Factor, right? So with the Mirage, you can flick it out, flick it in, just like you can with an access bar lock. Except that is super easy to deploy. If you miss it, which you don't very often, if you hold it down there, it catches pretty good. If you miss it, it'll kind of bounce like that. But it does not happen very often, hardly ever. I love the way they did the backspacer, man. I'm not a fan of the deployment back here. I'll sacrifice that to have this beautiful backspacer. Love the way they did the carbon fiber and the pivot. Love the way they did the carbon fiber inlays there and there. And top of all that, I got a drop point blade. So my goal was to get this knife and put these two side by side. Let me get this out of the way. Put these two side by side and run them through their mills and run them through their paces and determine what knife am I going to keep. Because they're so similar, what's the point in keeping two? Here's the problem. The problem is there's two things about the actions on these that I love about both of them. And that blade, the Factor wins out most of it, right? I just like a simple deployment. I don't want it too complicated. I don't want to have to learn two different methods of deployment. I love the way that's just an easy thumb roll out. And it's easy to roll in. I just don't need the assisting, right? But I do love that backspacer. I do love the blade. I almost wish I could take parts of this one and put it into this one and build the ultimate knife. But unfortunately, I think the answer is, for now, I'm going to keep both of them. I'm still on the fence about it. Let's check some measurements on it. Actually, let's look at it up against a couple other knives. Similar size to the Rosie. Here is the Medford Midi Marauder. Slim Midi Marauder, I'm sorry. And the Grimsmo Rask. This knife's $368. And one more just for kicks. Tactile Turn Maverick. Tactile Knife Co. Maverick, sorry. So, let me check the weight on it, because the weight is pretty awesome. 3.3 ounces. Wonderful. You don't even know what's in your pocket. And you can drop it down in your pocket or clip it. Either way, it's good to go. It's got a fantastic... Both this and the Factor have fantastic clips on them. I'm going to keep this in the thing just for show. But I want to put it up. I want to take a couple of measurements on it first. You guys have to excuse me. I've been under the weather for a couple of weeks. I've had a really bad virus, a respiratory virus, and I'm recovering from just barely. 3 inches on the blade. 4 1/8. Is that 4 1/8? Yeah, 4 1/8 on the handle scales. Build quality, home run. I mean, they just did a great job on both of them. But see, that one, you get used to one. See, I just pulled that down trying to deploy that out, and you just ain't going to get that with that. And this is not an automatic. See how it barely made it out? Sometimes it won't make it out if you see, it won't make it out if you deploy it straight up. And that's for legal reasons. You can't have an automatic a lot of places. I wouldn't, if I owned the company, I wouldn't have made it automatic either. I see why they made it assisted, so it would do some other things, appeal to some other people. But the assisted part of it just doesn't appeal to me. It's just such a great action. You don't need it. I mean, look how easy that thing flicks out. You think you need assisted for that? No way. That's what assisted has always meant to me. It's having to overcome a bad action on a knife, a cheaper knife. A lot of the fake ZTs back in the day and things like that were assisted, and some of the ZTs were assisted, but I'm just not a fan of it. And I don't dislike this blade either, even though I love drop point blades. I don't dislike that blade at all. I ain't hating it. M390 on this blade, and I believe this one's also M390. Alright, let's see. Yeah, M390 on both of them. So, yeah, this is something you're going to have to choose for yourself. If you really like the looks of that one like I do, you may want to go with the Mirage. You're not going to go with either one of them new because the pre-order's outstanding. I don't even think there is a pre-order on the Mirage right now. We just got these in, so you're going to have to get it on the secondary, which most of them are still new anyway. You can go in our group, Everyday Blades Facebook group, and find 5 of them right now if you want to. For a reasonable price, they're not jacked up. So luckily, it seems like they made quite a few of them. So I like the longer fuller on that blade. So it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It's just going to be a personal choice to you. Guys, thanks for watching. God bless you and your families. Say a prayer for our country. Good night.